What's going on, everybody? I mean, let's just take a quick chat about, Derek Brunson and Kevin Holland. I mean, that upset, was it a see it coming kind of thing? I don't know. I thought Kevin Holland, he's the guy that needs to start taking it seriously. And I think it showed in that fight. A lot of the people who jumped on that bandwagon a little late kind of don't know real Kevin Holland. And I think in that fight, he just kind of matured, right? He just wants to now understand that winning's the big thing. He wants to keep making good money. He knows that feeling now, right? And I think if you look at his career, he has some losses on his plate that they're learning curves. And I think that's what's going to happen with him. He's definitely a top 10 fighter. He's looked really good against some of the top guys that have, tried to push into the top 15. And let's be real, man, Derek Brunson deserves the credit. He's taken down two big prospects, two big names that the UFC's wanted to push for a while now. And I think he deserves that top 3, top 4 ranking. I mean, I don't think there's a guy who deserves it more, to be honest. And after seeing Israel go up in weight and all that kind of stuff, and some of these guys that are Whitakers and your Maros, who's now shifted off to a new scene in Bellator, but across the board, right? I really like the fact that we're seeing some guys that get that opportunity, like a random Derek Brunson. Right? I don't think anybody saw that happening pre 2020, and here we go. So I'm really excited to see him get his dues. And let's just jump right into it. If you're not excited for UFC 260, I mean, I don't know what card can excite you. I mean, we lost some good title fights. That sucks. I mean, I'm pretty disappointed about losing Ortega. That's a guy I love watching fight, stand up or not. I think when it goes to the ground, it'd be exciting. And Volkanovski likes to mix it up. So that's going to be a fun fight when we get to see it. But I mean, let's just jump right into it. I think, even though we have 10 fights, they're freaking exciting fights, right? We got Marc-Andre Barriault kicking it off with Azaitar. Like, let's talk about how big Azaitar is to just keep a early preliminary card just to himself. I think he's the big name there in the prelims, if you ask me. He's got a huge following out in the Middle East and across the board, right? A lot of the Russian and Muslim fighters, he's Moroccan, but I think that's where a lot of the drive right now is coming in the UFC, and, all the power to him to ride that out. So when you look at the fight, I mean, I just want to off the bat give Marc-Andre Barriault tons of credit for what he looked like at the weigh-ins. When you look at his previous fights, I mean, the durability is there, the chin is there, never been finished, only decision losses. And I mean, he looked jacked, probably the best he's ever looked in his career. And I'm sure he'd tell you the same thing. And so when you're looking at this fight, that durability to the chin is exactly what he needs against a guy like Azaitar, who definitely kind of fights similar to a Derek Brunson, right? He likes to push forward, likes to throw those big blows, looping blows. He's going to push forward. I mean, he likes to get top position, but at the same time, we saw him get taken down pretty easily. And I think that was something that stood out for me in a big way. And I guess one of the more, comedic relief from all the controversy with it, I mean, that Bilal Muhammad, is he the funniest fighter in the UFC? I mean, he's definitely one of. And I mean, when he was, making that comment about, it's in the bag. What bag you talking about, bro? Crazy. That guy. Yeah, that was probably one of my funniest moments so far in 2021. And, now we're getting to see him fight. What are some of the bad things? I mean, Barriault's an 0-3, 0-3-1 fighter. Actually, his no contest is the one that got overturned against, I believe it was, Oscar Pichoy, because of the uppercuts on the ground and failed drug tests, right? Like, that's a big thing in the UFC right now. And so at the end of the day, you can't be cheating either, right? So I think that the record doesn't really reflect where he's looking right now. The odds have shifted dramatically when we look at the opening odds. I mean, I think this fight opened at a minus 155 for Azaitar and a plus 135 for Marc-Andre Barriault, and now they're sitting at plus 100 and minus 125 respectively. So Barriault's getting the credit where it's due. Minus 125. I really think that that's reflective of the weigh-ins as well. And, the chin's a big deal. I think that when you look at what Azaitar is trying to do, is he's definitely coming in with stupid amounts of power, a lot of, front push forward. And I think that if he can, sneakily get a takedown, and, that's going to be a big deal for him. And if he has to grind this out, I think that's definitely the battle. It might not be the prettiest fight, but I think both guys are going to bring it. And, if you're looking at trying to avoid the power, right, there's no other way to do it. You got to take the fight to the ground. And so I really do see where kind of the shift in odds are coming. But at the end of the day, if you believe in that power from Azaitar that he's shown in the past, I mean, that's not a bad bet now as an underdog, right? Looking at the opening line, I don't see anywhere where, you kind of are betting on the wrestler here if he can kind of get the fight down and grind this out, because I think in a stand-up battle, it's going to be real close. And if I'm seeing previous fights and things like that, you might want to take advantage of something that you've seen someone else do in the past. But if Azaitar can kind of get that top position and throw some of that power, I think it's going to really, really affect the fight long term. And if he can stay on top and hopefully have the cardio to last, I mean, there's going to be some pretty happy fans coming out of that prelim.